Scrappy friends, I have another My Family Heritage scrapbook page for you today. And I actually did this like a long time ago before I left for New York and came back from New York. It's been sitting in my iMovie editor waiting for me to finish editing it. So I thought today would be a good day to share it with you since it is Monday and I'm trying to get back onto my routine of putting videos out 3 times a week. I think that's about as many as I could, probably 3 or 4 a week depending on the week. It's starting to get closer of us thinking about moving, and so there's some stuff that is starting to happen with us getting ready for that, even though we don't really know exactly when we're moving yet. Sometime in the summer. So I still have a while. I did gesso on here and now I'm just adding paint and splatters. And one thing that I was talking through is one of the techniques that I was using to add the mixed media was using a straw and blowing on it. And I showed a little bit of it at the very beginning when I was talking. But basically you splatter your paint and then you stand over it with a straw and you blow really hard fast, and it'll make that splatter just spread out. I really like this technique as far as it gives really cool results. It works really well when you have really bright colors. This, you can't really see it, so it's okay. I'm not in love with this, I'm not gonna lie. This was during my Mojo funk, and so I had a really hard time working with this, even though I was using brand new products, because I'm using a lot of the Pink Paislee C'est La Vie collection, which I absolutely love. I love that collection, oh my gosh. So right now I'm working on, I'm going to be putting this on this paper and using a little bit of it as a background. And so I'm thinking that I'm gonna have it be like this, where you can see, you know, regular, just putting it on top. But I don't like it. And okay, so I believe I already went through and changed it. So I didn't like it at all. So I flipped it and then I stuck that border on the outside of the paper. So if you guys watch Mercy Tiara, she talks about a reverse border, I think is, I don't know if that's exactly how she uses it, but she says the reverse. And so that's what I did. And so now I'm just adding some of this bronze around the outside just to make it look like maybe I stitched it, or just a little bit of an outline. I thought it needed something else. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'll use this washi tape. I really like the gold. It'll go in with the bronze paint, but I do end up moving, I think, most of it. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember which way I kept. I did this like a while ago, so now I'm trying to remember. So here's my photo, and it's not a really, really great photo because it's from Facebook and it's a copy then put onto Facebook, but it is a photo nonetheless. Now, this is a story that I really felt like I should tell because it's one of those photos that when I was talking with my family, they had a family reunion over last summer, and so they got, you know, they shared the photos and they were telling me kind of a little bit about the photos and who were in the photos and stuff. And so we got to this photo and they're like, you know, this is no one in our family. But then they got talking about this lady who they called Grandma Cook, and how she was friends with my great grandmother, so it would have been like their grandmother, and how I'm not sure if maybe she was their neighbor, but she hung out all the time with them, and they would go over to her house, and the thing that kept coming up is, oh my gosh, she had the best chocolate chip cookies. Like, we always would go over there and she'd always have chocolate chip cookies, and they were the best chocolate chip cookies. They could not stop talking about these chocolate chip cookies. So apparently in their minds, and now granted, you have to remember, and this is the thing I love about heritage stories and family stories, is you could hear the same story from different people and get different variations. And so sometimes it's hard to know exactly what is the real story, right? But I just loved how everybody could remember about her was the fact that she wasn't related to them, but she had the best chocolate chip cookies. So I thought that this deserved to be remembered in our family, even though Grandma Cook is not part of our family. And I don't even know if Cook was her last name. Like, that is another thing, part of the story that is just really funny. So now I'm working on embellishing. You see me layer. I just added bits and pieces. I did add a piece of that vellum that that's from Webster's Pages. That's an old vellum piece, and it has a nice flower. And I thought it kind of went with the C'est La Vie, like that. There's lots of flowers in there in that collection. So I'm just trying to figure out what I want to put from the ephemera. I think this is the first layout that I made with this kit, if I'm not mistaken. So everything is all new, and I'm so excited to use all these pieces, and there's tons of them. There's a lot of like die cut pieces that are just fun, a lot of like frames and stuff, but I'm trying to figure out how to make this work. And so now I'm thinking also about the title. Well, what am I going to name this title? And so this kind of evolved. It started off with, well, let's start with Grandma Cook, because this is her name, supposedly, right? So I'm going to start with this, and I absolutely love, these are like my favorite thickers. I'm so sad that I'm starting to run out. And these are the Dear Lizzie thickers, the gold thickers. I don't remember what collection they're from, but. So I'm going to spell out Grandma Cook, because I think I have enough letters to spell that out. But I'm not sure what else I'm going to do. So in a minute, I'm going to kind of look through my ephemera also, and my pieces, my embellishment pieces, to see if maybe I have something else to help me with my title, because I love doing this. I love taking bits and pieces from your ephemera or your embellishments and using that as part of your title. I mean, there's already words, so you don't have to put together. So there's this ampersand that was on the clear acetate, and so I'm going to use that for Grandma Cook, and then I'm going to use some of these Webster's Page little things, and there was one of them that needed to be fixed. And I'm going to say, and her. And then this little banner piece says, always fabulous. So it's going to be Grandma Cook and her always fabulous. And then I'm going to spell it chocolate chip cookies. And I used some of these. I wanted to use those gold thickers, but I didn't have enough to spell out chocolate chip cookies. So I'm using the pink to tie in with the pink. And those are Ellie Studio letter stickers, and I really like those. They're just a perfect size for adding like smaller parts of your title. So if you want to add it in with like thickers, it is a nice balance to the thicker size, or most of the thicker sizes, I find. So I'm going to spell out chocolate chip. And actually, I think I spelled chocolate and then I spelled chip with the gold thickers, and then I'm going to spell cookies with the pink again. And like I said, sometimes I like my title to be all the same color, the same font, but sometimes it's just really fun to have a layout where it's all different, but it kind of all goes together. Well, and that's where using those ephemera pieces and the embellishment pieces from one collection helps, because it ties in the colors that are already there. They all kind of match together anyway, right? So the only thing that I added that wasn't from that in the title was those Ellie Studios. But it's such a pale pink that it works anyway. So that's my really, really long title. I'm almost done with this, guys. It actually, surprisingly, for having a hard time with my mojo at this point, I actually did get it done fairly quick, and considering that I did a lot of mixed media, though I did cut out a lot of what I like the drying time. So it did take a while to dry because I put quite a few different colors on there. And so now I'm just going to add some labels and some tags and stuff just to stick out on the other sides. I'm going to use my tiny attacher just to add that, just because it adds another embellishment. And I really like these word phrase stickers with the gold and the black. They're just so much fun. I love them. I want to hoard them forever, but no, they need to get used. So I'm going to tuck one in on the other side just to kind of mirror. So those are my 2 embellishment spots. I'm not doing 3. I know, staying away from that triangle. But everything kind of goes down from like, it is in a diagonal, even if it doesn't go all the way up to the top. Your eyes kind of lead up to the top because of how I have the embellishments anyway. And that background is so busy, it really doesn't need that much extra, even though I am adding, like I add this puffy, is that a heart or a geotag? Because there was some hearts and geotags in there that I wanted. Yeah, that one's the heart. So I add the hearts on both sides. I'm trying to mirror what I do on both sides. So there's a heart on each side. There's like, you know, I try to do that, and then I'm going to add the date, and I actually have no idea what the date is. So I'm just going to put the 50s because I believe this was sometime around in the 50s or 60s maybe. And then I'm just going to add some black to it. This is just black color shine. And just a little, because I can go a little crazy, and I actually think I probably did a little bit. I could have just did it right in the 2 areas and it would have been fine. But you know, sometimes you can't really go crazy. So here is my layout. I really loved it. My journaling is on the back so that it doesn't really impede with all the mixed media, because I think it's hard to see on top of mixed media if you're just drawing or like writing on it. So I just I typed it up and put it on the back. I kind of like to do that sometimes, and I need to make a note that that's what I did so that when you're looking in the album, you can read about it later. But I hope you guys enjoy this and have a great day. Bye!